video has to be one of the most terrifying videos we have ever done.
Yeah, this actually might make us disappear forever.
Yeah, so if you don't hear from us, if we're not on Instagram, we're not posting on YouTube, please do a wellness check. My local friends, you know where we are. You know where we normally thrift and hang out. Please check on us, because I know this sounds dramatic, but no. Stay for this whole story, because it is wild and local, and it's
also a huge conspiracy that goes all the way to the top. For those of you who like my conspiracy moments, this is a conspiracy that very much goes to the top of reselling.
And happens to be true.
Yeah.
So, okay. You wanted to do a little PSA before we get into this.
Yes. Now, before we get started on what exactly this is, I did want to say that it is never okay to victimize or stalk or attack people, bully them online. And this story is a true example of how things have gone horribly too far.
Yeah, and for people like us on the internet, this is an example of what can happen. And it definitely is a wake-up call for me to remember that not everybody is as amazing as all of you guys. There are crazy people. What I didn't expect is that the crazy people would be coming from one of our top reselling platforms.
Yes. So you want to go into a breakdown of what exactly the story is?
So yes, this is the story about how eBay, and yes, I mean the eBay, cyber stalked, harassed, did a lot of terrible things.
Criminal thing. Actually committed a lot of crimes.
Yes. To a local couple here who writes on a blog about eBay and what eBay does. So let me back up and give you context for this so that you understand everything, but you're going to want to stay till the end because this gets insane. So I like to kind of keep up to date on everything that is going on, and recently, as you might know, eBay released their quarterly earnings for Q4, and there's a lot in there. If you want us to cover the eBay quarterly earnings calls, we can absolutely do that, but this one was super interesting because it had a line item in there for $64 million set aside for legal lawsuits. We are made aware of this by an eSeller 365 article, which I am going to link in the comments because I think it's really important that you get the full context for this. But we are so curious, what could eBay be setting aside $64 million for legal lawsuits for? Like, what could that possibly mean?
So I looked at it and I thought it was going to be very boring. I kind of dismissed this conversation.
You literally handed it back to me when I sent you the article, and you were like, this is nothing. Doesn't matter.
Well, I looked at it as this is a rounding error for eBay. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. $64 million is not even what they would consider change. Like, that's just the cost of doing business.
And that is a fair thing to think, but I looked at this and I knew, no, this is bigger than that. So the first legal issue, which isn't that big of a deal, that eBay is contending with right now is they are dealing with a lawsuit from the DOJ about an EPA law violation. It looks like it might be the Clean Air Act, and from the speculation that this eSeller 365 article said, they're thinking that it has to do with selling some type of car parts that are defects that are causing a violation to the Clean Air Act. And they didn't give a lot of specifics, so I don't really know exactly what that is, and I don't sell in the automotive category. I'm sure some of you guys do, so if you want to leave some context, definitely do that. But this is going to really kind of determine whether or not eBay, the platform, can be held liable for the products that they sell when it does violate a law. And I think that it's actually really interesting to find out, but I don't think that makes eBay scary or anything like that. It's just, it's an interesting thing to see how this turns out.
People were selling old defective car parts and old cars that were not in compliance with all of the newer requirements, would be my guess. So I would be surprised if eBay is going to be held liable, because that would mean it would be one of the single biggest changes to reselling, that all of the platforms are then liable for any and all products on their platform, which none of them want.
And none of us want.
No. But this is really to do with the second part of it. That's where the craziness starts.
Yes. So let's just throw it out there. eBay cyber stalked, harassed, and even attempted to break and enter into a local person's home who does a online publication criticizing and chatting about eBay. Now, you might know this couple. They go by the name Ecommercebytes. We get a lot of our information from them. They are really up to date on a lot of the issues going on in the seller community. They are pretty critical of eBay when it warrants it, because aren't we all? And they really kind of give you a lot of information. Now, they are local to Massachusetts. They actually live about 30 minutes away from us. So if eBay could come to them, they could definitely come to us. So yeah, that's kind of terrifying. But do you want to give a little bit of context of what they did?
The crux of this starts when the blogging couple wrote an article about the CEO making 152 times the average salary of an eBay employee, which I think we all know. He was especially critical and angry that that information was released, even though it would have been released anyway. And he basically made it his own personal mission and vendetta to destroy this couple.
Yes. Now, legally, there is no proof that he is aware of all of the things that happened, which is why he was not held in jail or anything like that.
He was
Other
not,
employees were.
He was not sentenced to prison and or pled guilty to any of the crimes.
Correct. So just keep in mind, legally speaking, we cannot say that he was aware of any of the stuff happening. However, it seems like he was aware.
Based off some of the things that he said, it seems like it was very, very clearly implied. He said he called them a biased troll who needs to be burned down. He wanted to see ashes. He just wanted basically this couple to be destroyed in every sense of the word.
Yeah, so from there, they were harassed to try and destroy them. And the way in which they were harassed was not simply leaving troll comments on their blog. We all get troll comments. If you check through our comment section on videos, they are there. That happens, but it wasn't simply that. It wasn't simply hurting maybe their eBay business. I don't know specifically if they sold on eBay. I think they did, but it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't putting out counter articles to them. Nothing like that. This was extreme. So they sent a bunch of things to their house to start with. Let's just start here. And they were atrocious. They were the worst things I can think of to send to someone. I don't even know if I was the angriest I've ever been, if I could even fathom sending these things. But do you want to give a few of them?
So there were instances of live bugs, spiders, cockroaches being mailed to their house, pornography sent to their neighbors addressed to them, funeral wreath, book on how to deal with the loss of a spouse,
a bloody pig mask,
a actual fetal pig.
Yep.
Pizza was ordered and then not paid for. They
get signed up for the IBS information. They also got signed up for the Satanic Temple.
Yeah.
A lot of things, and it was consistently going on and on and on, where they just felt absolutely harassed. But I don't think they actually blamed eBay at the start. So one of the first instances that happened to them was they found the word Phytomaster scrawled across their white picket fence, and they immediately, of course, reported this because this was kind of terrifying. They were also receiving vulgar messages on Twitter from somebody named Tua Ali. We'll put that on the screen because I'm not really sure how to say that.
We probably butchered that.
But they kind of thought, okay, this person's harassing us. We got this graffiti, so it must be this person. And they were kind of convinced that it was just some troll that you get on the internet that was harassing them. What they found out was that is not the case.
No, what they found out, and this was a months and months long investigation by local police, is that the harassing account on Twitter, I believe, was actually created by eBay. So this is an eBay alternate account, fake profile, meant to harass this blogging couple, which is insane. That's just crazy.
So basically, eBay had made a way to harass them online, then started sending them a bunch of gifts, I guess is the word for that, and continued to keep going until the couple finally had enough and had to stop this situation from happening. So the stalking didn't stop at gifts and Twitter stalking. They also vandalized their home. They flew in from California. Yeah. They stalked their car, and they even planned to put a GPS tracker in their car to track their movements, which is insane.
The craziest part of that is that thankfully this couple had their car in their garage. The eBay employees that had been following them around for days, if not weeks, went to a store to buy burgling equipment to break into the garage to attach a GPS tracker to their car, which, I mean, that's insane, but also kind of stupid because you could literally just follow them to a parking lot and then attach it to the car in a parking lot.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane that this happened. It's insane that eBay is a part of it. So if you're worried about the fact that you're selling on eBay and could this happen to you, don't worry. This happened in 2019. These people were charged, or many of them were.
Many of them are charged, and I'm very confident that the new executives of eBay are going to have a less than zero tolerance policy for this.
Yeah.
I mean, if it comes out that it has happened again, it is a systemic issue, and the dollar signs are going to go up from $64 million.
Yes, so to give you a rundown of exactly who was charged and what happened, there were 2 employees who were charged and arrested, and then there were 5 additional employees who were charged but not arrested. Now, they were charged with conspiracy to commit cyber stalking and conspiracy to tamper with witnesses. So that happened. Now, I will say that the 2 big executives, the CEO and the COO, were not charged and not arrested, which I guess, legally speaking, there was no proof that they actually were aware of these things happening. But I have to say, it's a little bit crazy to me what one of these executives went on to do.
I mean, yeah, I would have charged them under RICO. I'm not a lawyer, but I would have assumed that you could go after them like the mob. But one of the executives is now working for the Boys and Girls Club in California.
Yeah, of Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
which, I mean, I guess they have a background in communications and this is their field, but I personally would not want somebody that had the capacity to even remotely say the things he said, never mind be involved in all of this.
No, I don't want anyone that has the ability to have those thoughts around children. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. But this doesn't end the problems for eBay. Yes, they were criminally charged. Yes, people were arrested, but this doesn't end. So the Ecommercebytes couple also filed a civil lawsuit against the CEO, the COO, and eBay itself because they felt that they should be held to civil liability for all of the harassment.
Yeah, which is going to be an enormous liability for eBay. People have already pled guilty and are serving time for this. My understanding is that that can be used in the civil case.
And then we aren't lawyers and we don't know how that's going to work, but it definitely means that eBay is expecting that they are likely going to owe some money. But it doesn't stop there because they are being sued by another company.
Yes. So their insurance company is suing them and arguing in court that they are not going to be on the hook for the inevitable lawsuit settlement because
or any of the criminal stuff that they've already paid for.
They're getting that money back, would be my guess.
Yeah, so this is a matter of opinion, and you guys can have your own opinions, and we'd love to see what you guys think, so definitely leave that in the comments below. But, I mean, right now, do we think that the insurance company is going to win this case? I kind of do. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if you violate the law and or commit intentional acts that are then the result of, or what result in penalties and fines and settlements, then the insurance company can void that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out because I don't know of another case where this has happened, but this is a big deal, and I have a feeling that eBay is very aware of the fact that this could be a big deal, and so they put aside $64 million for this. And again, that is a line item for eBay. We are aware of that, but the fact that eBay has the capacity for this, or did in the past, astounded us. We love eBay. We sell on eBay. We talk about them all the time. So this was really astounding, and we are late to the party. We do acknowledge that. Other people did videos when this first came out, but this was in the quarterly earnings, and we needed to kind of let you guys know.
We needed to talk about it to process it for ourselves because it's insane. It's just outrageous.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most insane things that we've talked about. So I want to know, did you guys know about this story? What do you guys think about it? Do you think that the executives should have been held more liable than they have been? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. And don't worry, we're not only going to be doing news articles from here on out. There is an experiment coming up really soon that I'm super excited for you guys to see. So make sure you stay tuned for the channel for that. So there is an experiment that's coming up really soon that I'm super excited for you guys to see. But I also want to note that this video is all about cyberbullying, cyber stalking, harassing, and we have a no tolerance policy for that on this channel. We really don't want to be involved in anyone or any company that has the capacity for that. Thankfully, eBay has made steps to rectify that situation. They have all been fired. But Our community is also riddled with cyberbullying, especially right now. So if you want to know our thoughts about the current cyberbullying situation that's going on in the reseller community, click the link on the screen here.